everyone's like, oh, this breakup came out of nowhere. But isn't that kind of how it is with girls, right? Like we try, we do our best, we give, and we like hold on as long as we can until we hit like a breaking point. Ignore ignore the picture. I feel like we hit a breaking point. Like boys will be like, this doesn't feel right, I think I'm gonna break up. Girls will be like, breaking point, can't do it, done. Right? Like we'll go until something happens. We're like, Some girls get cheated on 20 times, but it takes the 21st time to get cheated on. I did not get cheated on. I'm just saying, like, that's just how us girls are, though. We just, like, we're committed. We're committed people. I was talking to this friend of mine. She's like, yeah, I've been with my boyfriend for, like, 9 years. 9 years. 9. And I've been wanting to break up with him for, like, the past 2. And I just can't do it. I'm waiting for my breaking point. And I'm like, girl, just do it. She's like, no, I have to, like, be looking at him and just be like, no, I'm done. Like, she needs to feel that. And I'm like, ah! And then I realized I had a breaking point. Like, that's what I had. Because I was trying. And then there was a moment where he was like, I'm going to go home for a week. And I was like, okay, yeah, 100%. Like, I know you need to go do something for your family, right? And then the next day, without talking to me about it, about doing anything, I'm actually going to go for 2 months. What? I'm going to go home for 2 months. It makes more sense. Now, it's one thing if you've been, like, dating for a year or 2, maybe 3, and, like, you kind of just are dating and, like, your boyfriend wants to go home for 2 months. That's fine. If you're in a 7-year relationship that is supposed to be, like, your future and what you're building, and you're, like, you literally have a home in a place and a whole life together, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go home for 2 months and just, like, bail on you, even though one of our biggest arguments for the past 7 years has been how much I go home, which, if you didn't know, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not dogging on him, by the way. I'm just, like, telling you my breaking point. If you don't know, Jeff goes home a lot. I could make a whole video about that if you want, actually. That man lives, like, 2 lives. He, like, could never let go, and he was never fully in ours, and I could always feel like that. I always felt like I had, like, half of him. And it was very frustrating feeling like you have, like, half of somebody, and they're always, like, leaving you. He kind of prioritized his family over me, which is totally fine, but I didn't believe at any point he would prioritize me over his family. Truthfully. And that's fine. Like, you know, some people, family means everything. And maybe I wouldn't be considered his family until I was his wife. And that's also totally fine. But I don't know. I think at, like, some point, yeah. Anyways, so that man said, I'm going home for 2 months. And I was like, you're going to leave our home, our life, everything you have here to go home for 2 months and live in your mom's basement. He's like, yeah, it makes sense. That man got in the car the day he left. And I gave him the biggest hug, biggest kiss. And then he drove away and I was like, oh. He drove away, and I said, oh, don't come back. Don't come back. You're done. Like, my immediate thought when he drove away was like, oh, I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him because he's done. That was what happened. The second he, like, drove off, I was like, And this does not negate any other thing I've said about him. But, yeah, everybody has their breaking point. That was mine. That was mine. When he said 2 months, I was like, When he left for the 2 months, I was like, oh, boy. No, I'm not going to do this the rest of my life. You're going to leave for 2 months for the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought about my future and what that would look like with him constantly leaving. I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. Don't want to do it anymore. And then, like, 2 weeks into it, he was like, oh, can't wait to come home. And I think I replied, like, oh, so you can, like, turn around and leave again for Christmas for 2 weeks? And he was like, whoa, yeah, but... And I was like, done. But yeah, I just think it's funny because everybody's like, where'd this come from? And I was like, honestly, I didn't even know. I don't even know. I just remember him driving away and being like, oh, I'm done.